Welcome everybody to the very first episode of Fresh Rolled Anime. I'm your host Jesse, and this here is...
I'm Jake from Stardust TV. Stardust TV's very own Jake.
Very own Jake. I'm sure you've seen him around on some of our streams and stuff like that. But yeah, this is our anime review show. We're pretty excited to bring this new content to you guys. We just finished a series, didn't we, Jake?
Yes, we did.
What did we finish? Go ahead.
Izetta, the Last Witch.
Izetta, the Last Witch. Exactly. Pretty awesome show. Let's just... Enough with the introductions. Let's just dig right into this.
Okay, let's do it.
I'm going to start off with the synopsis just to get you guys, a little... If you haven't seen it... actually, forewarning, if you haven't seen it, this is spoiler cast. This is spoiler cast. So, if you really want to see this show and you're nervous, just turn it off now, or just like...
If you're nervous
about...
If you're panicking right now because you haven't seen the show...
Are they going to spoil it? Are they going to spoil it? Just skip the last 5 minutes, get our review scores, and then boom. Take it from there. Anyway, synopsis. If I am promised to the princess, then I will fight for her sake. In 1939 CE, the imperialist nation of Germania invaded a neighboring country. All at once, the war spread throughout Europe, and the arrow was dragged into a spiral of a great war. Then, in 1940, Germania's attack turned towards the principality of Estladat, a small alpine country abundant with beautiful water and greenery. So, besides me butchering that word, that's the synopsis. So if you didn't gather from there, it's like this cool fantasy take on World War II. It's essentially exactly what it is. It's a fantasy take on World War II. There's witches, magic, and stuff like that in it. It's pretty cool. What'd you say?
Yeah, it's pretty cool, and I was kind of surprised by that. I kind of just turned this on without really knowing much about it,
right,
and was surprised to see this alternative history approach.
Yeah, I knew what it was, but I was kind of surprised. Like, just to right off the bat, I was like really surprised on how well the alternative history worked for me. What about you? Like, I liked it. It was cool. They did a good job with it, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was really thought out.
Yeah.
And it sucked me in pretty early on. I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
this is interesting.
For sure.
I haven't seen this. I don't know how common this is. You're the anime guy here.
There's other World War II stuff.
Alternative history common.
I mean, adding magic to anything is not new to anime whatsoever. Adding magical girls isn't something new. But they could have fucked this up. They could have made this stupid. They didn't make it that stupid. It worked. It definitely works. I guess we'll just go from the beginning to the end. Our thoughts. So the first episode, pretty cool. It's full. It had some cool twists and turns there. She gets Fine. I believe she gets abducted. Then all hell breaks loose on this airplane. The airplane gets shot down, and Izetta, which is the name of the witch, saves her. Essentially. And the animation throughout the first episode is just gorgeous. The fight scenes are awesome. There's this cool thing that the witch does where she's just riding on a gun for the whole thing, which is pretty awesome. What did you think of the gun thing? I mean, I feel like it's... Some people may think that's kind of dumb, but it's
I thought the gun thing
pretty
was
cool.
Super cool.
The way the...
a cool alternative than the broomstick.
Yeah, the
typical witch's broomstick.
Yeah.
And I think from the first episode, especially the first episode, had a very Miyazaki feel.
Oh, for sure. I can see that, yeah.
With the setting, and
the female lead. I mean, the whole show, actually, almost kind of did, with the strong female lead.
Strong female lead. I instantly got a Miyazaki feel to it.
Yeah, I can see
the animation, that style, too.
It's similar. It is a similar take on it. More of the newer Miyazaki stuff.
It's still kind of conventional.
More mainstream anime. But it's still kind of got that Miyazaki feel to it.
But I feel like the setting is kind of Miyazaki, taking place in the past.
Right. Or
whatnot.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, seeing that in the first episode immediately.
It was a really strong first episode. It really hits you with a bang. and I apologize. Some of the episodes. It's been a while since we watched the first episode, so I might.
Well, we
forget.
watched this in the way
Pretty much essentially
it was
in order
released,
in the way it was released, which is always a fun way to watch these kinds of shows.
which is the first time I think I haven't really. Usually when I watch anime, it's like a binge
You
of
usually
like
binge it.
several episodes, and then I take like a super long break, and then I binge another several. So it was kind of challenging to do this week to week
Yeah.
for me, anyways, because
Yeah.
I'm not used to waiting a week for shows.
But I'll say this show is really, I thought, pretty well paced for an anime. It's a 12 episode arc, complete. It's finished. You know this bullshit where it's like sometimes animes only have 12 episodes and that's it, and then they don't finish, and you're just left hanging forever. Or you read the manga or the light novel or whatever it's based off of. But
yeah,
anime's the
I
best.
didn't know this was a miniseries,
Yeah.
so I kept on thinking, they're getting ready for season 2.
no, I mean,
and then
it
I
comes to
watched
a
it
solidified
the
close.
other day, and this looks like it's wrapping up. They're
Yeah.
wrapping up all the storylines here, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
and this is it. And I think it works great like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I'm used to watching anime, and they're like 100 episode arcs,
I know it's
or 50,
when you're
or
yeah.
more than 12. So it really kind of
yeah,
acted as a short
little
quality series.
just a short little. It's exactly what it is, a short quality series. I mean, there were some parts in the middle where like half of the episodes were kind of got a little too fan servicey. Like it was like the first half, I think it was like episode 5 or 6. They were getting ready for the dance, the ball, right? And it's like, okay, half the episode they're spending putting on like this corset for this girl. Her
And it's
bust is like falling out
It's
of
a
it.
big to do.
It's a big to do, and it's like kind of one of those things where like, okay, it's anime, but you kind of wish it wasn't. It
I
kind
feel
of
like-
lightened the mood a little bit, but
Yeah, it was kind of countering the tone.
that's how
And it
I
felt weird, and
It felt
that was
kinda
probably
weird.
that'd probably be the
Yeah.
biggest problem. That some of it felt weird. I mean, it didn't completely felt weird because I felt like there was a tension between
Yeah.
the two main characters, between Izetta and Finn.
Well, there was
There was like a weird sexual,
kind of sexual, like
homosexual relationship kind of
then,
blooming.
yeah,
there.
and then
a
it
little
never-
bit though. I
They didn't
don't
really
know.
say that they loved each
It was
other,
a
but it
little
was
bit-
like, yeah, you
Especially
love
the
each
last
other.
scene. There was. It was. I don't want to say it wasn't weird, but it wasn't clear to me what it was.
Right,
Like,
they
wanted to
teetered
go
on-
to that direction, but then they didn't. And I don't really know if that's common in anime. If they have
Yeah, there's a lot of flirting around, you know.
between women.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on the show. Sometimes it's
I mean, that
between
was.
men.
I mean,
Two men.
in the finals, in that.
It's all like the whole part of that whole like fan servicey.
But
feel,
in the
like-
last episode, I feel like it wasn't flirting. It was
the last 2 episodes, yeah, it was.
more of an earnest relationship.
Yeah, well, we'll get to the last episodes. Let's continue on with the series as a whole here. One of my favorite parts was like how it handled politics. Like there was a part in the beginning of the movie, not in the movie. I'm sorry. It feels like a movie.
It feels like a movie.
It felt like a movie because it was very high production values. A couple of episodes in the middle didn't look great, but for the most part, the music, the animation, all really high quality. I think it was within the first or second episode. Might have even been in the first episode. This is how she gets captured, actually, I believe, where she's like Fine, who's just the princess of this kingdom, is meeting with, I think a dukedom or a prince or
Yeah,
a governor or something, some of high political
from another
respect
country.
from another country, from
trying
Britain
to
or
form an
something.
alliance.
Trying to form an alliance, and they're at this awesome opera house.
Yeah.
It was really cool. And then they had the guy her like guard in the beginning outside the door, and then, like I said, this is all spoilers. So this is all the first episode,
And it's
also.
all in the first episode. Yeah.
So, the last thing I thought was that he was just gonna go boom, pop, and he's dead. And that was one of my favorite parts of this show. Is kind of like how like this is war. Like people just get shot and they're dead.
Yeah.
And I thought the show did that great. And like this kind of political intrigue of like, here's this guy who's afraid of the Germans essentially, and completely just outses her to them, and is just like,
Yeah.
here you go to save his own ass or his country's ass, hypothetically.
And she seems
was
to
really
understand
cool.
it too. She seems to be like,
She was like,
all right,
well,
yeah.
this sucks. You're a jerk. But then later in
But,
the show,
I understand.
yeah,
There was an understanding there, and I like how that guy died, and that's we see that throughout the entire show,
yeah, they set that
and it's really
tone since the beginning.
wonderful that they just kind of like they introduce these characters and
Yeah.
these very small storylines for these characters,
Mhm.
and they seem to deal with those characters with just death.
Yeah, with just death. But it was like a cool.
Because that's not the first. It happens throughout. It happens
Yeah,
with the little guy.
Yeah,
Not the little guy.
the
The
little
kid.
guy, but the kid, the young
young soldier
adult who sees
overhears something that he's not supposed to,
Exactly.
and then he gets shot for it.
and you're like,
And he's
that was such a beautiful scene because I don't know to cut you off here, but like he hears something about the witch, like the big secret of the witch, essentially.
She can only use her power in certain
areas, right? And he didn't just die right away. It like let it breathe, so like he kind of almost gave it all out to a German spy, and he doesn't, thankfully, or
No,
maybe he does.
I don't think he does.
I don't think he does. And then pretty much the CIA of the country of Elstadt, the good guys essentially, their secret agents find out about this. They find out about the German spy. They're going after him, and then the kid, who's like a 17, 18-year-old kid, drafted into war, get caught up in this situation because he loses the picture of his family, and he wants to find the picture of his family, and just heard the wrong stuff. And he's laying on the floor. He like trips or falls, or maybe he got shot in the leg by the German spy. He's laying on the floor, and then like Elstadt, the guy from Elstadt, is like over him and says, "Will you die for your country?" And the guy says yes, and he like closes out and shoots him. And I was like,
yeah, it was an awesome moment.
It was very dramatic. The music was great. They
and
did
it just
a really
ends that
good
guy,
job.
and that ends that soldier's.
Yeah, and then
like they had that like
kind of
him
over.
trying to get back to his family and
right,
finish this war, and like nope, he's
dead, and
that's
dead.
like episode of a 3 or a 4.
Yeah.
So pretty much, and it's all established and kind of foreshadowed in that first episode of the guard dying.
When the guard dies,
this is not as far as I know, not your typical anime. A lot of characters die.
Yeah, a lot of characters die. If this isn't for the faint of heart, I guess. Like it's now I feel like maybe there's a case for like. Actually, no, I don't know. There could be a case given that like some of these characters don't have enough room to breathe, or maybe you don't care about them. But I feel like
I cared about these characters.
Yeah,
I cared about the guy who died, and I think it suits the themes of war very well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I'm a movie guy.
Right, you're a cinema freak.
I'm a cinema doer. And it reminded me of this one European war film called The Red versus the Blue, or The Red and the Whites. It's called The Red and the Whites. European, I don't know what country. A European war film that was made after World War II, I believe.
Right.
Very pessimistic views on the world, but the movie was kind of like this. It was it was a war film,
dying and
it introduced characters and then killed those characters.
Right.
And it went through that throughout the entire movie. Like you get to know this character for 5-10 minutes, and then that character dies, and then moves on to the next character, and then the next character. And this show and how it uses death reminded me of that movie.
Yeah,
it's a great movie if you guys can find it.
Check it out. What is it? Red versus Blue, or
The Red and the Whites?
The Red and the Whites. Okay. Yeah, check it out. I guess if you like Izetta, check out The Red and the Whites.
It's much more depressing,
probably a lot darker,
and it doesn't have any of that light tone to contrast the darkness.
No boobies in that movie.
No.
Another scene that I liked was the ball that they went to. I guess that's what I would.
Yeah,
it was just this interesting, like political. Like I could see, like the show's kind of heavy on the politics. There's a lot of like talking and like trying to form alliances with a lot of stuff. So
and I love all that stuff.
Yeah, and that's stuff's really
super
interesting to me. I guess maybe not everybody will love that, but this show kind of surprisingly isn't that popular right now.
Oh, it's not.
No, it's not. I mean, I haven't heard as many people talking about it like I thought they would. Because I really have enjoyed it so far. Now, what did you think of at the end when the original White Witch showed up? I felt like I kind of saw it coming. I was like, I knew there was going to be...
You could tell something was brewing.
I was like, there's another witch. There's no way they're going to get through this whole series and he's had to not fight another witch. It was just they were setting. I mean,
they
had
to because she was destroying the entire.
She was too powerful,
army.
Essentially.
So,
that just reminded me of another thing I loved was the way that they kind of like described the propaganda.
Yeah,
Like
that
how
was
they
really cool.
used her, like especially that one where she couldn't use her powers because like we said earlier, she can't use her powers everywhere. So if you had, they were trying to show that she could essentially.
Well, the Germans
didn't know that.
Where it's
attacking something. Right.
A location where she couldn't use her magic.
Right.
So they had to pretty much fake it.
Fake the whole thing with
cool.
like these awesome snipers and bombs and stuff like that, and then they kind of like had pictures taken and interviews. And she said this, cool speech. I don't really remember much of what it was, but it was a cool speech. I remember at the time thinking it was a cool speech. It was awesome, and yeah, it was a really cool show.
Yeah, I liked how they addressed, and they used her as a propaganda tool for their own country.
Yeah, exactly. Which was
and
like
made her and like dressed her up and made her look.
It kind
cool.
of the dress up part actually reminded me of Hunger Games a little bit.
Oh yeah,
of like how Katniss is dressed, like all the people in the Hunger Games are dressed up and they're like beautiful, and like she has the flame dress and stuff like that. It was kind of similar in that like they put her in this white dress. She's supposed to look awesome. She's supposed to look badass and like hot and all this stuff to get like the people of the country to love her and to support her and back her, because I mean it's kind of crazy that a witch just pops up and is attacking and killing these people. Which what did you think of Izetta as a character? Because I felt like Fine was really well drawn out and was really well developed, but maybe Izetta was just kind of like loved Fine and that was it. And that was
She seemed like a kind of a typical anime character.
She
was
was
this gung-ho hero.
Yeah, just
never
like
give up.
The power of love type of stuff.
Yeah,
where she was just like, it was clear that they loved each other. Whether it was like a sexual, gay, lesbian love, or just like the way you love a sister, we don't know. That's never really explained. I mean,
it doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
I don't think.
The show was fine the way it was. It definitely doesn't need to be. But.
Yeah, and the ambiguity makes it maybe a little bit more interesting.
It kind of gives like just a nice mystery. Just kind of be like, huh, yeah. Maybe they are doing that.
But no, I thought she was fine. She didn't. I don't think I ever really specifically questioned her motives.
No.
So she was fine. I mean, I don't feel like anything stood out. I think Fine is a much rounder character and flawed character,
right,
and deals with a lot of decisions and for her country and whatnot, and you kind of see her grow.
Yeah, for sure. And I loved the way women were like I don't want to get into this really, but like the way women were represented in the series as a whole. Besides, I mean, you had her running a country, being like this badass political almost mastermind, and like just the whole running an entire country in the midst of this devastating war. And everybody's
running it, but like taking it over
after her father dies
in the worst possible time.
Yeah. And then on top of that, she's got this entire like top secret guard of just these badass women soldiers who are snipers, who are secret agents, and just doing cool stuff. And it wasn't like in your face about it, but it was like, yeah, this is just just the world. This is just the fantasy world that it lives in. It wasn't like we're trying to tell this message of this and that. It was just, no, this is the world. This is our fantasy World War II.
Yeah, it wasn't trying to like shove any of these down your faces.
Shove
any of these themes or messages.
Which is definitely
in your face.
Something I really loved about the show. Do you have anything else on regards to that, or about characters or anything? Because after that, I'm going to go into the final battle, and then we can get into our scores. Yeah.
No, I think that's. I mean, no, I think the character. I think the characterization is the best part of the show.
Yeah.
And how some of those characters just die is really.
Yeah, it was awesome. Up until the very end.
Very true. We don't see a lot of these characters
were just dying.
And fulfill their stories, and that I think that was probably my favorite part.
Right.
That's probably what kept me coming back most.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely how these characters were gonna.
And
if these characters were gonna survive, because it establishes very early on, like
they made
most
all
of these characters, aren't safe. So
And it was,
the last battle.
yeah, the last battle. What'd you think? The animation was really cool.
Yeah, I like the animation.
I loved the way they had the witches fight with like these giant spears and swords at first, and then like when they got into like throwing tanks and airplanes at each other, I was like, this is just awesome.
Yeah, no, I love the final battle between the witches, and I liked how it ended.
Yeah, it was a fun act.
Because I feel like, like I said, I don't watch a lot of anime, so I don't know how often villains,
go
see
crazy.
the good. No, go crazy, but then see the good in themselves. Is that like
That's a
common
Naruto thing?
Oh, that's just Naruto thing? Okay.
Not all shows are like that. There are some that are like, like Dragon Ball Z's kind of done that too. This isn't that kind of show. You definitely see a lot of that, like,
well, this is a character,
maniacally evil characters.
Well, like, Sophie was like a character who had a very specific reason for hating.
And it makes sense.
And not just like the Jermaine leader.
Yeah.
Who he was just pure evil. There was nothing to him.
Yeah, he was
just pure evil, and then he
was Hitler.
Kills himself.
That's essentially what it was.
He kills himself. But Sophie had a moment to reconcile,
right,
and become good.
And she
didn't take it, and she was just like went crazy, man.
Which
I like that.
It was awesome because it was like, not only did she do that, but it was like, almost like she was using the Germanians to just destroy this country.
Yeah, just to
essentially
fulfill her revenge.
Which I thought was really cool. She was just like, oh, I don't really care about you. I'm not really gonna help you. I'm just using you essentially to get my revenge on this country that wronged me, what seems like hundreds of years ago, and it was cool. And the animation was awesome. I can't say enough about the production value. Like, they put a lot of money into this show. The music was incredible. The animation was really good.
The music was really good. Every time the show ended, that final...
Oh, so awesome.
The end credits song was just always like ended an episode with just the right mood.
Oh, yeah.
With that song.
For sure. Anything else you want to say about the show? Concern?
Yeah, I was just, like I said, I was just surprised with how serious it took its brutality and war.
Oh, yeah.
And I think back to the episode where, was it the last one or the second to last one, where they, like the SS, go into the bunker and capture Fine.
Oh, yeah.
And they have the hostages.
Awesome.
And he puts out the hostages. He's like,
Come out.
I'm going to kill these hostages. And then, not even a second, he just shoots them.
Like two in a row. Shoots them.
He just shoots them.
It was
then the third
incredible.
One,
it was really incredible.
I felt with stakes.
Yeah.
During,
it felt like it
throughout
mattered. And like a lot of anime don't do that. Like, that's one of the things
like,
that
I
like this.
It kind of like,
you're like, oh shit, that just did that.
Gave me a chill.
Yeah.
And that was really cool. That's not a thing I usually feel when I watch like that kind of, like a bone chill.
Yeah, for sure.
A bone chill. Usually it's like excitement. I'm like, oh, this is all, like, ooh, this is not.
But not just like, whoa, this guy is just
cool.
pure evil, or just like brutal stuff. And it was like kind of real.
He didn't even seem like a pure evil guy. I think that's what even made it even.
Right, he was
brutal.
He was this brutal, just kind of like.
But we didn't know that until he shot the guys.
Right.
He just was another officer.
Crazy a little bit.
Yeah, he seemed a little crazy, but then
crazy. Well, once you saw that, you were like, whoa.
He looked slimy. But anyways,
yeah, slimy is a good term.
So I just wanted to bring that up again. It's just surprised. I don't know. Is that a thing that you see in anime?
Not all the time.
Like a very serious approach.
This is that weird
the brutality
show that just kind of like
violence and death.
Not all shows do, and this is one of those shows that really surprised me in that it was kind of had it all. It was like brutal, real, but then also there was lots of fan service. It was cute and funny. It was
which
brutal.
I could have dealt with but
it felt out of place with the.
I mean, it kind of did. The only thing is
the total theme of it was that it felt a little out of place.
The only thing why I feel like it wasn't completely out of place is because there wasn't earnest. By the end, there was an honest relationship.
Fine and Izetta had a real relationship.
There was some real
there was something there.
So the flirting previously didn't.
It
bothered me at the time, but it felt more complete after seeing that final episode.
But it was still in the grand. There was some other moments. There's just so much to talk about this show, but we gotta wrap this up.
Yeah, we gotta wrap it up.
So I wish we could talk about more, but gonna get to the review scores. Jake, I'm gonna let you go for it first.
I didn't know we were doing scores. So.
Yeah, we'll do scores. Why not?
Okay.
What do you want to recommend? I mean, this is first episode. We can change it.
First
now.
episode of Fresh Roll Anime.
Fresh Rolled Anime.
Only on Stardust
Numero
TV.
uno.
No, I definitely recommend it. It's a short series. It's 12 episodes.
Okay.
And
yeah.
it goes by fast. I mean, I wish I waited and binged it.
Oh yeah, it would have been.
And
It would have been a fun
I think
binge
it might
show.
work
Would've been a
better
fun
if you
binge.
binge it. So
Most anime.
if you didn't catch it and you just listened to all the spoilers.
There's a lot though we didn't cover.
Yeah, there was a lot we
There
didn't
was
cover.
a ton. This is for a 12 episode series. These episodes, a lot happens in these episodes. It's not just all fluff. There were some of these episodes
They
where I
do
was
move
like,
things some pretty quickly. But
there were some episodes where I was like, oh, this is only 24. It's only been 24 minutes. I feel like so much has happened. So
Alright,
you give it a recommendation.
Give it a recommendation. Are we doing
Official-
scores?
Do you want to do score? If you don't
What do you
feel
wanna
comfortable doing a score, I was ready to do score. So
Well, let's hear your score first.
okay, I'll give a score.
I don't know. What are we scoring out? What out of
1
what?
out of 10.
Oh, just 1 out of 10. Okay.
1 out of 10.
All
So, overall, I thought the show was really fun. It was paced really well. The production value was really good. The animation was awesome. The music was incredible. I actually think it was one of the best anime scores I've heard in a long time. It was a cool mix of like dramatic, just like dramatic music, tension music, tension building music, and classical music, but then also like modern Enya type stuff.
Oh yeah.
You had some of that, which was really cool. It's a fun show. If you don't really like political stuff, you might be parts where you think it might be a little bit boring. We love that.
Yeah.
I love seeing anime do that because I think sometimes anime can get too fluffy, too cut and dry. I'm gonna give this. Oh man, I'm teetering between 7.5 and an 8. I think
How
it's
about
gonna
collective
be
8?
8. I'll give it an 8.
I say we both give it an 8.
We both get. Yeah, fine. That's fine.
I think
You give it an 8.
I'll give it an 8.
Okay.
I was
I'll give
really
it an 8.
happy with it.
I thought it was a really fun show. Really, really fun show.
Yeah, and if you're not into the political stuff, you might not really be into this.
But like that's the thing though is it's not like it's.
And it's not too bombastic.
You know what it is?
It's bombastic when it needs to be, but it also
yeah.
it's grounded when it also needs to be.
Yeah.
And I think that's a great the end scene, with the big witch battle,
right,
which is really bombastic and fantasized.
right.
Is I think really greatly contrasted by the grounded political that's happening in
At the same time.
at the same time, and it's edited really nicely.
Yeah.
Between the two scenes.
Well, they're cutting between like this cool, her giving this speech in this big meeting room with all the most powerful people in the world, essentially. At the same time, there's this awesome witch battle going on. Where they're flying into the Eiffel Tower.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Quick mention, I have to say this. It was awesome. When she takes the trains up from the tracks moving them around like whips, that was incredible. So, solid 8 from Fresh Rolled Anime.
Yeah. Our first Fresh Roll
So we're
going to
give this an official dig-in score.
Dig in?
Dig in.
Dig in.
Dig into this anime. It's a fun show. Awesome music. It's exciting. It's short. So even if you don't
short
like
and sweet,
it, it's
too.
not
I like
wasting
that.
your
I like that.
time.
Yep.
We loved it. So that's it. Any final thoughts? You have any other thoughts, Jake?
No, I think
Anything
that's
else?
it. I think that's a
Anything
good
else?
first episode. I think this was a good first anime to do.
I think
Because
it
of
was.
the
I think it was.
the miniseries.
It was short.
It was a
Yeah,
miniseries.
exactly.
It was a short
So
thing. So I think this is a good episode 1. This is a
For
good
sure.
start for a Fresh Rolled Anime, and hopefully we'll be back soon
yeah. What
with some other stuff.
some other stuff? Some people on our channel have been asking us to review some shows.
Oh yeah,
Maybe Madoka Magica.
maybe Madoka
Might be
Magica.
our next show. Maybe So
maybe.
we're not making any.
Actually, I don't think it will be.
We're
watching
we
one
could
right
just
now.
Binge it, but
We're watching
some other shows. We're Drifters. We're watching
Drifters,
Drifters.
we're watching Drifters.
Keijo.
Keijo.
Don't know if we're gonna actually review Keijo because that show's just ridiculous. But anyway,
All right.
that's it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Jake, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Stardust TV
Mm-hmm.
and here on the YouTube channel.
Check it. Yeah. What's our streaming schedule again?
It's all over the place.
All over the place.
We're
shoot
gonna
for
figure it out.
sevens.
We
who
stream
knows?
video games. We're gonna try to get a more concrete schedule
Yeah,
for 2017.
Yeah.
So we're
working on it,
Working on it.
fellas and ladies.
and where can they find you?
You can find me. My normal Twitter is jbird523. Or you can follow the show's Twitter account to keep up on with the latest anime stuff and whenever we release episodes at Rolled Anime or if you search Fresh Rolled Anime, I think that should come up too.
Okay.
But yeah, at Rolled Anime. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys. Yep.
Dig
See you
in.
around.
Dig
in.
into Izetta.
Izetta, dig
It's
in.
fun stuff.
It's good stuff.
だが大体の人間は得て増えてによって得意な色に力を与える。
Yeah, you're right. I probably should save room for some dessert.